What's up, graphic designers? You have 6 shows in common with anyone on this train. At least that's what Netflix wants us to believe in. They might be right. So here's one example, and here's another example. We're going to be reimagining this ad campaign featuring characters that you like, that you admire, that you appreciate from shows that you watch on Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus. Here's my example. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be, we've got like 6 layers. We're going to be embedding our characters into each of these layers using layer masks. We talked a little bit about that yesterday, and you might take a look at this, and some of the characters might seem familiar. Clearly, this top level is from Squid Game, and here are the rest. And you'll notice when you draw your attention to the layers palette on the right side that I've used masks to take to sort of extract these characters from the background. So, for example, if I use the brush and I'm on this Cobra Kai layer and I'm just brushing around this guy right here, we can see that I'm bringing up other elements. Likewise, if I click on Walter White from this Breaking Bad layer, and I've got white in the foreground. Oops, and would you look at that? So I'm actually painting right on the layer itself. We don't want to do that. We want to paint on the layer mask. And so I'm going to click the layer mask, and now when I paint white, you'll notice that the background is starting to emerge. And then if I press D and then X, that will bring black to the foreground. And now it's hiding. It's hiding this element. White reveals, black conceals. Okay, that's all well and good. So how exactly are you guys going to create something that looks a little bit like this? Well, the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to start with our template. And so what do we have in layers palette? We've got these black boxes labeled from top, which is this one up here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the bottom one, we've got the lab logo, the Netflix logo, and we've got this slogan here at the top. How are we going to sort of superimpose these visuals into or your characters rather, into these spaces, these rectangles? Well, let's take a look at this image. So here we have the blue on the top, we've got the red on the bottom, and I'm going to add a layer mask by clicking the layer mask icon at the bottom of the layers palette. I notice that black is the foreground color. I'm going to press B for brush, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag, and I've got something that looks a little bit like that. Okay, it's not that serious. I also remember that if I press X, I'm going to swap out the foreground and the background. So now white is in the foreground, and I can create this non-destructive edit. That looks, I don't know, that doesn't look amazing. But I also know that if I click right through it on the red bottom, I can manipulate this. I can click and drag, and I can see that's reflected in layers palette. And if I click this blue top layer, I'm shifting the whole layer around. Okay, that makes sense. But check this out, guys. I'm going to click once more on the layers palette, and I'm going to swap black to the foreground. Okay, we've got something that looks a little bit like this. Now, critically, if I wanted to shift this sort of red quadrilateral around on the canvas, I can't really do it because if I were to click and drag it, again, I'm moving the bottom layer. If I click up here, if I click the top layer, I'm shifting around the whole top layer, and that's not what we want to do. But you guys, if you see this link between the layers thumbnail, that blue square, and then this white layer mask right here, there's that little link. I'm going to left click that link because I'm going to unlock the two. And now when I click this space right here, this red quadrilateral we'll call it, that does not work. That's not what we want. But if we click on the layer mask itself and then give this one more shot, there we go. We can shift it around everywhere on the canvas. And this idea is going to come in really handy, and we're actually going to put into practice right now. So this is our canvas. I'm sorry, this is our template. This is where we're starting, and we're going to need to superimpose some of the characters that really appeal to us, and you're going to need to be thinking a lot about like background colors as it's associated with each individual. I'm going to hop to Google Chrome. This is just randomly on Netflix. I noticed we've got Space Force, we've got Kimmy Schmidt, we've got Willy Wonka. Okay, I don't even know if I've seen any of these shows, but it's not that serious. So I'm going to start with this image featuring Steve Carell. I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy the image, and I'm going to return to sort of like we'll call it a blank for the time being. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hide all these other characters from shows I genuinely do love. I'm going to press Command V. I'm going to press Command V, and there he is. We're going to use the object selection tool. We're going to pull out this guy, And we're gonna simply press the layer mask icon, boom, and it's simply the background's simply gone. Well done. We're going to now find a background color, and I'm gonna go with, let's say, I sure, we'll go with this color right here. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna use the rectangular marquee, and we're gonna find. I know that I'm going to be using sort of the top of his head. I'm going to sort of get the top of his head in his foreground and his forehead. I'm going to press Command Shift C to copy all the layers here, both the background and Steve Carell. I'm going to return to the template. I'm going to press Command V. Okay, this looks great. I'm going to press Command T. I'm going to increase the size so it's greater than that top rectangle, which is where this is going to be situated. All right, that looks great right there. We could always press V5 if we wanted to sort of like think about opacity. What is it going to look like? And I think that looks great right there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I can actually return this to 100%. I'm going to hold Command, and I'm going to be clicking the thumbnail on the top layer. Okay, so when I do that, it creates a selection right around this rectangle. You guys see that? And so now we've got this selection just like we've been doing before. And when we click the layer mask, you'll notice that everything outside that rectangle disappears. We're going to want to make sure that we're on the Steve Carell layer. And now again, I'm going to click that little link. When we're clicking on the Steve Carell layer, we can shift it around. We can actually still increase and decrease the size. So we're going to have something that looks a little bit like that. Let's do this a few more times. We've got Willy Wonka. Right click, copy image, Photoshop. I'm going to go to this, not here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to hide Steve Carell. I'm going to press Command V. Weird, I'm going to press Command V. There we go. I'm going to use the object selection tool. I'm really curious about what characters you guys are going to choose. Layer mask. Not amazing. It's not that serious. I'm going to pop in a different color. This is fun. Rectangular marquee. So it looks a little bit like this. Command Shift C, because we want both the foreground, the image itself, and that color in the background. I'm going to press Command V, Command T. I'm increasing the size. I'm going to press check to confirm. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hold Command, and I know that this is on the second layer. I can actually simply drag it above right here. I'm going to hold Command, and I'm going to click the thumbnail itself. It's making a selection. I'm going to return to the Willy Wonka layer. I'm going to click the layer mask function. And because it's on top, we can't see it because I shifted it up, but I'm going to bring it right back down. And there we go. There it is. I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to use the move tool. And so now we can sort of shift him around, and that looks not bad. I'm going to press Command T, and I'm going to reduce the size just so they're more or less comparable in size. Let's do that one more time. Kimmy Schmidt, right click. We're going to copy the image. We're going to return to Photoshop. We're going to go here. I'm going to press Command D. We're going to paste. Amazing. I'm going to zoom in just a tad. And I like this color right there. There we go. We want Kimmy Schmidt above it. I'm going to use the object selection tool. I'm making a selection. I know this is a lot. Layer mask. Rectangular marquee. Making a selection. Command Shift C. We're going to go to the template. Command V. Command T to increase this. Yikes! To increase the size. Okay, let's pretend this is the size that we want. I know that this is the third layer, and it's this layer right there, right, number 3. So I'm going to bring this back up. I'm going to hold Command. I'm going to left click on the third thumbnail. It's making that selection. I'm going to jump back to layer 4, the Kimmy Schmidt layer. I'm going to click on the thumbnail itself. I'm sorry, the layer mask itself. Beautiful. I'm going to unlock it, and then we're going to click on Kimmy Schmidt layer. I'm going to drag it down so it's going to look a little something like this. Command T, and there you go. This looks amazing. You're going to add an additional 3 characters. You guys are going to make sure that at the very bottom, you're going to include small text that includes all of the shows that you're referencing. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Be sure to put your name in 2022 or the year that you were working on this. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.